What we're about to break down is a story that isn't just about one attack or one village. It's about an unprecedented game of dominoes, where a victory in one state can trigger a tsunami of violence in another, hundreds of kilometers away. And right now, those dominoes are falling straight into the heart of Benue State, popularly called the food basket of Nigeria. Make sure you're following the flow of this gist. And if you're with me, if you want these kinds of complex stories broken down in a way you can actually understand, then please tap that like button and subscribe. It's the best way to make sure you don't miss an update. Now, let's get into it. The headline is stark. Fresh attacks on Benue. Agatu Council scraps grazing deal, tells armed herders to leave communities. On the surface, it sounds like another chapter in the long, painful farmer-herder crisis. But my people, this is so much more. This is about unintended consequences, about security gaps you could drive a truck through, and about a local government chairman taking a stand so drastic, it tears up an 8-year-old peace agreement.
But to truly get it, we have to rewind a little. You remember the news about the successful US-assisted airstrikes in Sokoto, right? The ones that targeted ISIS-linked Lakurawa terrorists in the Sahel open settlement in Tangaza local government area of Sokoto State. It was good news. It was a win, and most of us breathed a sigh of relief. But here is the critical question I want you to hold in your mind. What happens to a pressurized enemy when you hit them hard in one place? Do they just disappear, or do they move?
The painful, honest answer is, they move. They seek safer ground. And the chairman of Agatu, James Edger, is drawing a direct, frightening line from those Sokoto airstrikes to the fresh hell his people are living through. He says, and I quote, Agatu is experiencing a renewed wave of violent attacks allegedly perpetrated by armed herders, which we firmly believe is a fallout of recent military airstrikes on Sokoto State.
Think about that for a second. A military success in the northwest is creating monsters in the north central. It's like pressing down on a balloon in one spot. It just bulges out violently somewhere else. This brings us to a question I really want you to discuss in the comments below. Do you think Nigeria's security strategy is effectively containing these armed groups, or is it just redirecting them from one community to another? Let me know your thoughts down there. Now let's talk about this 2017 grazing agreement. For years, in the search for peace, a deal was struck. Herders were granted access to Adipati Island in Agatu for grazing. The idea was coexistence. But what has it yielded? Chairman Eje doesn't mince words. He says it brought hardship and insecurity, that the agreement, made under the guise of promoting peaceful coexistence, was done at the expense of the Agatu people.
So, with a stroke of a pen, he has revoked it. Null and void. He has ordered all armed herders to vacate Agatu land immediately. This is not just a policy shift. It is a desperate defensive wall being erected. He's declaring our farmlands must be protected to guarantee food security. And this is a crucial point. Agatu isn't just any place. It's in Benue, the state famously known as Nigeria's food basket. When terror comes here, it doesn't just kill people. It attacks the very roots of our national food supply.
But here's another angle, and it's a disturbing one. Follow this logic. These armed groups, these so-called bandits or terrorists, are said to have migrated from Sokoto and Zamfara to Benue. How? Let that question hang. Did they travel hundreds of kilometers in groups with weapons on Nigeria's major roads past security checkpoints undetected? Or is there another, more sinister network at play? The chairman is essentially asking the security agencies a question on behalf of all Nigerians. How are these groups moving across the country with such impunity? The description of the attacks is where the story moves from policy to pure human tragedy. Listen to this. Brutal killing, widespread injuries, reported cases of rape, destruction of homes and farmlands, displacement of hundreds. He calls it unprecedented terror. This is the reality on the ground. This is why a local government chairman feels he has no choice but to take this drastic unilateral action.
And
This is where we need to pause and think. Is revoking this agreement the right move? On one hand, you have a community pushed to the brink, saying, enough is enough, we must protect our own. On the other hand, could this wholesale revocation inflame tensions further? Chairman AJ insists Agatu people are not against any ethnic group, but against anyone who threatens lives. But in the volatile cocktail of Nigerian identity politics, how will this edict or law be interpreted? I want to hear from you. In a situation like this, is a total revocation of a grazing deal a justified act of self-defense or a potential trigger for wider conflict?
What is clear is that the local security framework is overwhelmed. The chairman is openly appealing for more forces, the military, police, DSS, to be deployed. He's praising existing operations, but saying it's not enough. There's even a hint of internal cleansing. Arrests have been made, suspects are under investigation. The message is, we will go after you outside, and we will root out anyone helping you inside. The symbolism of this moment is heavy. A local council is taking a sovereign-like decision on security out of sheer necessity. It's a sign of a fraying social contract. When people feel the central security apparatus cannot protect them, they will take measures into their own hands. This revocation is a legal, political measure, but the subtext is a cry of existential fear.
Now, let's zoom out. Imagine you are a farmer in Agatu today. Your life's work is your farm. It's your children's inheritance. It's your contribution to feeding the nation. Now, armed men are on that land. They are destroying your crops. They have burned your neighbor's home. They have made your village a place of nightmares. You hear your chairman say the old deal is off. Does it bring you relief, or does it make you fear a heavier, more brutal retaliation? The human cost here is immeasurable. And this brings me to my final and perhaps most important series of questions for us as Nigerians watching this unfold. What should be the priority right now? Is it a massive, reinforced security surge in Agatu and similar border communities to physically block these migrating killers? Is it a radical review of how we pursue these groups so we don't just shift problems around? Or is it a deeper national conversation about why, after so many years and so many strategies, armed non-state actors can still move across Nigeria and terrorize citizens with such ease?
The Agatu chairman has drawn his line in the sand. The grazing deal is scrapped. The order to leave has been given. The next few weeks will be critical. Will it lead to a de-escalation, or will it be a prelude to a more intense confrontation? This is why staying informed is not a hobby. It's a necessity. We have to follow these stories, connect these dots, and hold the conversations that matter. If you've made it this far, you understand how deep this goes. So please, hit that like button right now to show this analysis matters. Subscribe to the channel so you're always part of this crucial breakdown. We have to be the generation that looks beyond the headline.
And before I go, there is one important thing I want you to do. Share this video with someone who thinks the Benue story is just a local conflict. Share it to spark that necessary debate. And finally, ring that notification bell, because as this situation develops, you'll want to be the first to know. The story of Agatu is a warning flare. It tells us that our security challenges are interconnected, fluid, and devastatingly adaptive. It tells us that local communities are at their breaking point, and it asks us, the watching public, a simple but brutal question. If not here, then where? If not now, then when? Let's continue the conversation below. Be safe, be alert, and let's keep seeking understanding together. I'll see you in the next one.